information on our top stories, please visit our website. It's channelstv.com. youtube.com/channelsweb has videos of all our shows. The 5-story building razed by fire at Balogun Market in Lagos Island has been brought down. The demolition began after firefighters completely put out the fire on Wednesday. Our correspondent, Daredo, returned to the scene where goods worth millions of naira were destroyed.
This is what is left of the 5-story building. It once housed a well-stocked shops at the busy Balogun Market in Lagos. These adjoining buildings may also suffer same fate. The structures are to undergo integrity tests first to determine their fitness. So shops on the locks, not by the owners, but the agency of government. These traders who occupy these makeshift shops say they came this morning to meet their shops pulled down.
We don't know. We just came this morning. We saw everything, the demolished. Because the auto shop is supported. It's not affected by fire. It's not affecting anything. It's not disturbing evacuation they are doing. But we are so wonder why they demolished that thing.
2 days after the fire incident here at Balogun Market in Lagos Island, emergency operations are still ongoing. But the work here was interrupted a while ago with a dramatic twist when the owner of the shops and building came around.
Identified as Fawcett, the businesswoman declined to speak on camera. She prefers to deal with the loss by dancing and sharing drinks to those who sympathize with her. Her approach did not go down well, with many traders whose shops have either been sealed or demolished. And that triggered another round of chaos at the market. Different strokes for different folks. For these men, they just want to go back to doing the business.
The way it affects me is now, for now, I'm staying in my shop together with my wife, and our shop is source of our daily bread. For now, me and my wife, we are sitting at home. We don't have anything doing now. So government, let them come and intervene and they help us.
If you look at the whole places now, it's sealed up. And we don't even know when to do it. Because from January up to this time, all the business people were hoping on this very seasonal period. And I accept this very seasonal period. I don't know how we can pay our house rent, our shop rent, and other things that are hanging on our neck.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, during his visit to the scene of the incident on Wednesday, said there was a need for the total regeneration of Lagos Island to prevent incidents that could endanger the lives of residents. Dare Idowu, Channels Television News.
Let's cross over to Abuja studios now, where Ibrahim Adra is standing by with more stories. Hello, Ibrahim.
Hello, Melinda, and welcome everyone. Now, the trial of the former chairman of the Pension Reforms Task Team, Abdurrashid Maina, over an alleged 2 billion naira fraud has again stalled as the court adjourned the trial to November the 21st and 22nd. At the resumed trial, the prosecutor informed the court of Mr. Maina's ill health. He backed it with a letter from the Office of the Nigeria Correctional Service asking for 1 week to conduct a medical examination to determine Maina's state of health and fitness to stand trial. The former chairman of the Pension Reform Task Team arrives at the Federal High Court in a wheelchair, assisted by officials of the Nigerian Correctional Service. The ruling on the bail application filed on behalf of Mr. Maina is the main business of the day, but after the case was called, the judge announced that the ruling was not ready due to the heavy workload of the court. He informs counsels that a new date for the ruling will be communicated to them before the close of work on the 7th of November. With the issue of the ruling sorted out, Justice Abang listened to arguments on the commencement of trial. The prosecutor takes the first shot as he announces his preparedness to proceed with the trial. He, however, makes a plea for an adjournment to enable the Nigeria Correctional Service conduct a medical examination of Mr. Maina. Lawyer to Mr. Maina supports the request for adjournment, arguing that his client need to be physically fit to stand trial. Justice Abang, after listening to the submissions of the councils, granted the request of the parties as he fixed the 21st and 22nd of November 2019 for the continuation of trial. A mild drama, however, plays out as officials of the Nigerian Correctional Service, friends and relatives of Mr. Maina, shields him to prevent his shot from being taken.
Just keep on moving. We're moving.
The defendant, Al-Rufal Maina, who was first arraigned on the 25th of October 2019 alongside a firm, Common Input Property and Investment Limited, is standing trial on a 12-count charge bordering on money laundering, operating fictitious accounts and fraud. We remain with the judiciary, where a federal high court here in Abuja today ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to recognize the candidate of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, in the November 16 governorship election in Kogi State. Justice Folashade Ogunbanjo Giwa, in her judgment, ruled that INEC lacks the power to disqualify any candidate for an election. Justice Ogunbanjo Giwa accordingly asked INEC to include the names of the governorship and deputy governorship candidates of the SDP, as well as the party's logo, on the ballot paper. The SDP governorship candidate Natasha Akpoti, her running mate Adams Khalid, and the SDP had approached the court to challenge their exclusion from the 2019 Kogi State governorship election by INEC.
We have just found the light in the darkness, and we just give glory and honor to God, and a lot of thanks to Justice Giwa for finding strength and courage to give the right pronouncement. And I say congratulations to all Kogites and Nigerians at large, that indeed Kogi stands in the forthcoming election to bring forth the new hope. I promise you all that I am not going to disappoint, even though we have just a few more days to election. From today, the movement to liberate our nation and our country and Kogi State starts today. Sorry, I'm sounding a bit disoriented because it's for joy that I can't even express. It has cost my team and I, especially my party and my political father here, Professor Deniro, a lot of sleepless nights. It's been quite haunting. But you know one thing they say, the good, whenever a moment of good happens, it overshadows every wrong that has taken place. So I tell you today, what we have in our hearts, I think we will just say we've forgiven everyone who has wronged us, because we have so much more to win together.
Meanwhile, the Court of Appeal sitting in Kaduna has upheld the judgment of the Election Tribunal affirming the election of Nasir El-Rufal as the duly elected governor of the state. In a unanimous judgment delivered by Justice Olumuyiwa Aburu, the appellate court upheld the judgment of the tribunal, which dismissed the petition of the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Mr. Isa Ashiru, for lacking merit. The PDP says it will study the judgment to decide the next action to take, while the counsel to El-Rufal says the judgment is victory for democracy. Meanwhile, the appeal court sitting in Owerri has also affirmed the victory of Senator Rocha's Okorocha in the February 23rd Imo West Senatorial District election. The chairman of the panel, Justice Stephen Ada, ruled that the appeal filed by Senator Osita Izunaso of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, ABGA, and Jones Onyereri of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, against the victory of Senator Rocha's Okorocha lacked merit. A Nigeria Owando joint venture continues to promote a good relationship with its host communities in Delta State for the oil and gas industry. And this time it has organized a business support workshop in Kwale to provide community vendors with information on compliance with registration and tax laws relating to the oil and gas industry in Nigeria.
The landscape of doing business in the country is becoming even more dynamic, with governmental agencies at every level insisting that companies must be compliant with the provisions of the law. This is why the Energia Owando joint venture is organizing this business support workshop with the theme Partnership That Works. pulling together all its vendors to enlighten them on the need to obtain necessary statutory permits, licenses, and certificates required to do business with any oil and gas company in Nigeria.
If you steal and you are caught, they will send you to jail.
Resource persons and experts from the State Inland Revenue Board and the Department for Petroleum Resources in the field of taxation, company registration, and work permits addressed the vendors on contemporary issues, including the ills of non-compliance and the benefits of compliance.
The vendors are well equipped now to do what is right so that they don't fall foul of tax evasion and avoidance. So if they comply with what have been said here today, then of course, Nigeria will be better for it. The vendors will know what to do, and they too will not be punished at the end of the day for non-compliance.
The management of the joint venture believes it's important to develop local capacity so that the oil and gas vendors may be able to compete with their international counterparts.
As they get it, they will do business with other companies too, so they will grow, and hopefully what we have started, other people can copy, and we'll gradually get to a point where everybody who does business, by an interaction with the person they are doing business with, actually get the necessary registration.
I would advise them everybody should take on what they've learned at this workshop, enable themselves to learn more, go and register themselves with DPR, find out what it is to get them bigger and better.
Beneficiaries are happy with the knowledge acquired, promising to apply it diligently.
This is the first of its kind, and today we have now grant ourselves with the venture that we are all one now.
The Energia-Owando joint venture has been active in the exploration and production of oil and gas. Tax evasion and non-compliance to registration laws of the country is a very serious crime, which in cases have resulted in litigation, causing hitches in the flow of business. To this end, enlightenment workshops such as these are much applauded by the beneficiaries and the organizers.